Hello again, this is Mr. Stein, and I'm going to actually demonstrate how you go about planning the impromptu essay. The first thing you're going to want to do as soon as you get your cards and to select the one that you want to deliver your speech on, you're going to want to write out the template onto the card. And you don't have to write the full words of things, you just want to make sure you put every part of the template on the card so that it's a placeholder for you to drop things into and so you don't forget to do those things when you deliver the speech. So I'm going to start off first by selecting two cards. The two cards are, if you can meet anyone from the past, who would it be and why? I don't know about that one, but let's see what the next one is. If you can make any animal from scratch, what would it be? Oh, I guess I think I'm going to go with the first one I chose. I decided I'm going to go with, I can meet anyone from the past, who would it be and why? Alright, and then I will then go through out in the hallway. The 6 minutes will start, and I'm going to start right here on the 1 minute mark. So good. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go hook, introduce myself. I'm going to say thesis, roadmap. Then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say summary, thesis, thank, final thought. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to draw my outlines onto it right away. So I go 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 3. Alright, so now I'm going to think about what I want to do. I think I'm going to say, I want to meet Billy the Kid. And I'm going to start with, imagine Old West, and I'm going to talk about imagining the Old West and what it's like to live out in the Wild West. I'm going to introduce myself as Mr. Stein, and I'm also going to say why I'm credible for talking about this topic, and I teach an elective. Teach an elective on that course. My thesis is, I'm here to talk about Billy the Kid, and why I would want to meet him. First reason is, he's a trickster. He also is really skilled in the skills necessary to live in the West, such as horseback riding and such. And also, he's real confident, and he's known to be a fun guy to be around. And he's also maybe not. Maybe I'm gonna think about his story and his bravery. Alright, so then I'm going to go right down here and I'm going to say trickster, skilled West, skills, bravery. And then I'm going to talk about Billy the Kid. And then I'm going to thank the audience. Don't forget to do that. And then my final thought, I haven't thought about that yet, so I don't want to spend a whole lot of time if I can't think about that. So I'm going to drop right into here. And those three things here that are here become the number ones in your outlines. Trickster. Well, why is he a trickster? Well, he used to do things to steal cattle, and he was known to play jokes on his friend. Also, what did I say? Skilled in the Wild West skills. Notice how I'm not putting more than any one or two words on the lines here, and abbreviations will work. And I'm going to talk about horseback riding, and I'm going to talk about shooting. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to talk about bravery, and I'm going to talk about the Lincoln County Wars. And I'm also going to talk about being an outlaw. Alright, so when it comes to cattle, he would steal cattle from different barons around the town, or different cattle barons around the town, and he would definitely take those and in creative ways. And I'll maybe tell the story about how he took a bunch of cattle and branded them, then put them back in the herd so no one noticed that it was with his own brand. It was actually not his own brand. Talk about the jokes, and he used to play practical jokes on his friends and enemies. Sorry, don't worry about the spelling right now. And I'm going to talk about the time where um, he actually removed the bullets from someone who tried to kill him, who's bragging about killing him even though he didn't know he saw him. And then I'm going to move on to the Wild West skills, horseback riding. He was very skilled in all areas. He used to flee a lot from the bad guys, so flee, and he would ride a horse for days on end and shoot in all different directions. So I'll tell a story about how he escaped from jail maybe and rode a horse out of town. Shooting, he was known to be a dead shot, and he was very skilled with the revolver, and maybe I'll explain how the revolver works opposed to the rifle, why it was his favorite. So then I'm going to talk about bravery in the Lincoln County Wars, where he avenged his boss that was killed by people, and it was basically everyone in local government. So I'm going to talk about a little bit more about the Lincoln County Wars there, and how the government kind of wronged his boss and ended up killing him. He felt the need to avenge him. I'm also going to talk about how he's an outlaw after the war was over, and he was constantly running from police, and then finally talk about maybe one of the instances where he had bullets whizzing past him, and it didn't faze him. And that's basically how you set it up. I've got about 15 seconds left. It's about the perfect amount of time. But the idea is that you have this in front of you like this, so you can then definitely, even though I went from start to finish in each outline, you might only have this one for the trickster, and maybe you figure out one for bravery comes to your mind ahead of time. You can drop it in here, then maybe you have the Wild West skills, maybe one comes here, and then maybe you think of another one of bravery, and you can drop it in here. So if you have the outline already templated out, it's easier to not necessarily go from start to finish from the end. It's easier just to plop the information where you need it, right? And then from here you get up and you want to think of these as placeholders for things you're going to say. You're not reading what it's going to say off the card. So I hope this helps. Practice, practice, practice. You can't practice enough. And make sure you're setting goals for yourself and you're reflecting on how the feedback you get from your parents and how you're doing, and set goals to work on the things that you need to work on. Good luck, and we'll see you next week.